Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2017 sequel film, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. So we're on Acto, we're on Canto Bight, we're on Crate. We're in space a lot of this movie. Now, this starts out exactly where we left off. Rey is on Acto, passing the lightsaber to Luke, who then just chucks it. And so we get more story. Why did he abandon the Jedi school that he had started? Why did Ben turn to the dark side under the leadership of Supreme Leader Snoke? Things, right? Why are we in space for majority of this film? Why is the Resistance in space for majority of this film? So a lot of stuff's going on, and I like majority of this film aside from three things. One, we talked about how Finn is just shafted for some reason, where we get this defected stormtrooper who's joined the Resistance, who's learning, how to wield a lightsaber, and he's gonna learn some Jedi stuff after Rey learned some Jedi stuff, right? And in this film, he's just given the boot and thrown to rebellion person, right? So he meets him and this new character Rose. They're off to Canto Bight to get a code breaker, who's played by Benicio del Toro, who does an incredible job, mind you. But like, why is he just doing grunt rebel stuff? Like, hey, go to this place and get this guy to break the code, right? So the First Order can't track us through hyperspace. Like, give that to anyone. Anyone can do that. Why are you giving that to Finn? Like, that's like grunt work compared to like the A-class work that we were just given, like a projection of story arc for the character, and then it just went plateau, and then it was just been slowly declining. I was not happy with that. He did a great job with the role he was given, but his character was just shafted, and I don't understand why. I did not like when there's an explosion in one of the main vessels of the Resistance fleet, and all the admirals are on the bridge, and Grand Admiral Akbar is there, and Leia's there. Everyone's there, right? And everyone just gets sucked into the vacuum of space and gets all icy and frosty. And then all of a sudden, Leia, who is force sensitive because she's a Skywalker, uses the force and sends herself through space without a helmet, nothing, back onto the bridge in a shield door, which then brings her back to the ship, and then she's getting some medical treatment. No. We never saw any Jedi fly through space. We've seen droids fly through space. We've never seen a Jedi or a force-sensitive individual fly through space. That just... I understand it's science fiction, right? And I know I'm not the only one who has various issues with this, but in the physics aspect of space, no. You freeze to death, and your eyes will explode because there's no pressure. It's no. Okay, that was 2. 3, the character of Luke Skywalker would never contemplate killing his nephew for a half a second and then regret it, but then wind up still taking the lightsaber to him anyway. I don't... What? That's not Luke. It was very strange. So we get the origin of Ben Solo, right? Being persuaded by Supreme Leader Snoke who rules the First Order at this point, to get Ben to the dark side. And Ben is starting to get, he's questioning stuff, as all teenagers do. He's questioning. And at this Jedi school that Luke created. And so Luke is sensing these things and, has a lightsaber literally to his sleeping nephew and then regrets it. But by the time he regrets it, the nephew opens his eyes and realizes his uncle's about to kill him. No. Luke would not. No. The whole premise of Jedi is to be keepers of the peace, right? No. So those are my 3 biggest problems with this film. Aside from that, I like the introduction of the Porgs, I thought those were hysterical. The banter they have with Chewbacca throughout the entire film, hysterical, right? Great. Very funny. 3PO being 3PO is just great. BB-8 being BB-8 is great. R2 being R2 is great. Rey and Kylo getting their Force abilities was very interesting in the sense of Snoke was manipulating the Force that way they could see each other and astral project to each other, which was so cool in a Force sensitive way, in a Force using way. Seeing Kylo seeing that there can be darkness in her and he can get her to his side, and Rey seeing that Ben has some goodness in him and he can get her to his side, and then the two of them fighting Snoke, and then he kills Snoke, and then they fight side by side together against the what is it, something of Ren, Commanders of Ren, Warriors of Ren, something of Ren. I don't remember. I haven't. This is the second time I've seen this film. I don't like the sequel films compared to the prequel films and the shows and the original trilogy as much. Like I said, certain things really annoy me, and we just discussed them, but other things are really good. So I really like that aspect. I liked the breaking of Luke's saber was an end, but also a beginning. I thought that was really neat. I liked Poe just being Poe. I mean, it's interesting watching that character, try to save and be the hero, but then learning how to take a step back. I thought that was very important. I kind of liked Laura Dern's character in this, Grand Admiral Hondo, not Hondo, Hokel, Hortle. I would say Horton. Horton Hears a Who. I don't remember. Holden. One of those words. One of the four that I just said is one of the words. I liked the sacrificing of herself on the main cruiser going to light speed to defeat the First Order fleet, so that way the transport vessels can get to Crate. I thought that was neat. I still think it was dumb that she didn't do it sooner, or didn't have the ship do it with an AI so that way they can get escape. Like, there was so many, like, why didn't you do this moments? Like, why did there was 400 people en route to Crate, and then maybe like 50 got there. Why? 400 could have got there. Just do something grand in the first place. I think that was the problem with this movie, is it took a long time for the Resistance First Order plot points to get to its end. The Kylo and Rey plot points, I thought that was an appropriate speed. The Luke Skywalker and Rey plot points, I thought that was an appropriate speed. Getting backstory. Poor Rose and poor Finn having to go to Canto Bight for 20 minutes of this film just to like meet up with some stable hands and get the code breaker, and then the stable hands being at the very end, showing the resistance ring and the kid using the Force to get the broom, and like, yeah, next generation, great, but like, you spent so much time on this in this city and with these creatures and all these different aspects, and like, we never go to it again. Like, it's not mentioned at all. It's not a thing within episode 9 from my knowledge, and I have to rewatch it, but I don't know, certain parts worked very well within this film, and then certain parts did not. And that's what's unfortunate, is that you expect high caliber story when it comes to these kinds of things, because of us being spoiled with the shows, because of us being spoiled with the consistent plot points of the 9, 10 other films. So like, why? So that's that. We did talk about episode 9 when it first came out. So my initial first reaction, I remember I liked it. I didn't hate it. I liked it. But I know I didn't love it. So I need to revisit as to why I didn't love it. But in conclusion, we've talked about all of the theatrical released Star Wars films, and majority of the TV shows. I feel like I'm missing one. Or the specials. I want to look at the TV specials, like that random Christmas special from the 70s. I want to watch that. I've never seen it. We can even talk about the Muppets episode where they go in when they do the Star Wars stuff. Hysterical. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. So Star Wars, man. Hope. Hope. Rebellions are built on hope. It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Incredible, incredible decades worth of material. Um, it's gonna just keep going on. It's gonna decades more for as long as this planet has humans on it. There will always be more Star Wars stories to tell. Love it, love it. Can't wait to see what happens next. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.